In a galaxy where power and fear often speak louder than words, humans have earned a reputation that sends chills through the spines of even the fiercest alien warriors. Their legacy has grown so fearsome that the mere mention of humans sparks fear, hesitation, or grudging respect in the hearts of alien species across the stars. This is one of the stories where a simple invocation of humanity's name shifts the balance of power, changes minds, and halts conflicts before they even begin. Sometimes you don't need an army, just the whisper of a name. Story number 1, The Prison Riot. The hostile winds howled over the barren surface of the planet Vrekost 6, a maximum security prison world located in the far reaches of the galaxy. It was a place where the most ruthless criminals, murderers, warlords, and outlaws from countless alien species were sent to rot. The facility itself was an impregnable fortress, surrounded by deadly electrical barriers and guarded by heavily armed drones. Escape was impossible. Or at least that's what the prison's warden, Commander Rael Norix, liked to believe. But today, something had gone terribly wrong. Alarms blared as the chaotic sounds of violence erupted within the thick walls of the prison. Inmates, thousands of them, had overrun several cell blocks, overpowering guards and seizing weapons from the armory. Fires raged in the corridors, the acrid stench of burning metal and flesh filling the air. Screams echoed as inmates clashed with one another, using makeshift weapons fashioned from whatever scraps they could find. Commander Norix stood in the control room, his eyes darting over the hollow screens displaying live feeds of the carnage. His reptilian skin glistened with sweat as he watched the situation spiral further out of control. The guards, trained soldiers from various species, were being overwhelmed, forced into retreat. Panic was spreading among the staff. "This can't be happening," Norix muttered, his claws digging into the control console. "How did they get so organized?" "Sir, we've lost control of blocks D through H," reported Officer Vetra, a tall insectoid with multiple eyes that flickered nervously. "If we don't act quickly, they'll reach the central core and disable the entire security grid." Norix clenched his jaw. Reinforcements from the nearest star system were hours away, and they didn't have that kind of time. The inmates were moving fast, emboldened by the chaos. If they managed to break into the core, they could gain access to the control systems and turn the planet's defenses against the outside world. As explosions rocked the facility, Norix knew he was out of options. There was only one card left to play. One name that struck fear into the hearts of criminals across the galaxy. Taking a deep breath, he activated the intercom system, his voice echoing through every corridor, every cell, every corner of the sprawling prison. "All inmates, this is Commander Norix," he began, his voice steady despite the panic he felt. "Be advised, Terran Special Forces are en route." For a moment there was nothing but chaos, but then a strange hush fell over the prison. It was as if someone had flipped a switch. The rioting inmates, bloodthirsty criminals who had laughed in the face of death countless times, suddenly stopped in their tracks. Weapons dropped from clawed hands, and snarling mouths went silent. In one of the cell blocks, a hulking Zalthak enforcer with skin like living obsidian froze mid-swing as he was about to crush another inmate's skull. His glowing yellow eyes widened as the words sank in. Terran Special Forces. He had heard the stories. Everyone had. Farther down the corridor, a group of battle-hardened Scarix warlords paused, exchanging worried glances. Just the mention of Terrans sent shivers through their spiked spines. These were the same Terrans who had quashed entire rebellions on hostile worlds, who had turned the tide in countless wars with their brutal efficiency and ruthless tactics. To them, humans weren't just soldiers. They were living nightmares. In the medical wing, an injured guard watched in awe as the prisoners who had been about to tear him apart suddenly backed away. The mere mention of Terrans had drained the bloodlust from their eyes. "What's happening?" he gasped, clutching his bleeding side. They said Terrans are coming," one of the prisoners muttered, his scales paling. "We don't want any part of that." Back in the control room, Norix watched the security feeds in disbelief as the impossible unfolded before his eyes. The inmates were surrendering. Cell doors that had been pried open were now being voluntarily shut as prisoners hurried back to their cells. Weapons clattered to the ground as they raised their hands in submission. Officer Vetra's mandibles clicked in amazement. "Commander, It's working. The riot, it's over. Norix leaned back, releasing a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. I'll be damned, he muttered. All it took was a name. As calm slowly returned to the prison, the guards cautiously began to re-establish control, rounding up the inmates who were now more than willing to comply. The fires were extinguished, the damage assessed. Not a single human soldier had set foot on Vrikos V6, yet the mere threat of their arrival had been enough to quell an uprising that had seemed unstoppable. Norix allowed himself a rare smile as he turned off the intercom. The Terrans were a force to be reckoned with, a reputation that could bring the fiercest warriors in the galaxy to their knees. He didn't know where the Terrans got their fearsome reputation, nor did he care. As long as it worked, that was enough for him. In the depths of the prison, the inmates sat silently in their cells, haunted by stories of Terran soldiers they had never met. The legend lived on, and the mere mention of humanity was enough to bring even the galaxy's deadliest criminals to heel. Sometimes, all it took was a name.